Nestled in Goa, India, Lake Carambolim, also known as Lake Karmali, is a man-made marvel that offers a tranquil escape where time seems to pause. Its scenic beauty and serene atmosphere draw not only nature lovers but also avid birdwatchers, who gather to witness the rich avian diversity. Over 250 bird species have been documented here by more than 500 birders, including both year-round residents and seasonal migrants. Two watchtowers stand ready for birdwatchers, offering panoramic views of the lake and its vibrant surroundings. This documentary captures the diverse bird life observed in and around the lake. The observations about geolocation and migration in the documentary are based on publicly available bird data sourced from the internet. Migration patterns may vary over time due to climate change and urbanization. Viewer discretion is advised.
June ushers in the monsoon season. Draping the landscape in rain and renewal, the black-hooded oriole is actively feeding on berries from a fruiting tree. With its vivid yellow plumage and striking black hood, it stands out effortlessly. This time of year, the lake and wetlands are primarily home to resident bird species. The white-cheeked barbet, vibrant green with a brown and white head and neck, hops nimbly from branch to branch. Morning unfolds gently over Lake Carambolim. Among its resident birds is a striking blue-faced malkoha, a large black cuckoo distinguished by its pale blue eye ring and ivory-hued bill. The greater racket-tailed drongo is nearby, calling out with its signature voice. Its glossy black plumage and long, racket-shaped tail streamers make it unmistakable. The chestnut-tailed starling rests quietly in the nearby trees, though its flocks are typically quite vocal. The purple-rumped sunbird flits restlessly from branch to branch. It's July and the skies remain dry today. The following day at the lake, a pair of white-browed bulbuls emerges in daylight, easily recognized by their brown faces and distinct white eyebrows. In the nearby neighborhood, a gray-breasted prinia delivers its buzzy song from a high, open perch. He common Iora surveys its surroundings from the crown of a modest tree. The red-vented bulbul is preoccupied with grooming its feathers.
The season is shifting. Autumn has begun. It's October now, and migratory birds have been arriving since September. The osprey is the season's first migrant to appear, perched patiently on a pole by the lake, scanning the waters for fish. The day is bright and rainless, and a rose-ringed parakeet is spotted among the trees. The wire-tailed swallow perches gracefully on a bamboo pole, securely planted in the lake. Installing bamboo poles was a brilliant move to encourage perching birds, offering them ideal spots to rest, dive, and hunt for fish. The common kingfisher, too, has taken to perching on the same bamboo pole. Another common kingfisher is perched on a nearby tree. The Malabar grey hornbill has arrived in the nearby trees, calling out with its distinct voice. A resident species, it inhabits the southern coastal regions of India. An Indian roller is perched on a nearby wire. Though commonly seen across the Indian subcontinent throughout the year, it also undertakes short-distance migrations to the Gulf region, returning around this time. Another migrant has made its appearance today in the wetlands of Lake Karmali, the pin-tailed snipe. November begins. The Indian golden oriole is seen year-round across central India. The common cuckoo, which breeds across Russia and Europe, migrates to India during winter. Painted storks are a familiar sight in the wetlands of Lake Karmali, making their presence known. The wetlands welcome the arrival of glossy ibises and ruddy shelducks. Glossy ibises are year-round residents in Africa and Australia, Ones in Central Asia and Europe after breeding migrate during winter. Ruddy shelducks breed across Russia, China, and Central Asian countries. In winter, they migrate to Asia.
Winter has set in this December at Lake Carambolim. Among the migratory arrivals, 41% are coastal species, 23% are water birds, another 23% hail from open country habitats, and the remaining 12% are forest dwellers. The male Malabar gray hornbill gathers fruit to nourish his mate. Love truly fills the air. The black kite, a graceful raptor, rests quietly among the trees. The coppersmith barbet darts about in haste, perhaps driven by hunger. A vibrant flock of painted storks has descended upon the wetlands, joined by black-winged stilts and a variety of other birds. By the third week of December, a blue-tailed bee-eater can be seen perched on tree branches, ever watchful for bees and flies. The elusive Indian paradise flycatcher takes flight, vanishing into foliage. The greater racket-tailed drongo, nature's mimicry master, is at it again. The common kingfisher is spotted hopping about, seemingly in high spirits. By next week, the wetlands welcome an influx of birds, glossy ibises, sandpipers, and swamp hens, all actively foraging. The osprey, on the lookout for fish, glides across the wetlands. They breed across regions such as Russia, North America, Canada, parts of Europe, and China. During migration, they travel southward to South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. In January, a pair of night herons can be seen quietly perched among the trees. While the common greenshank is busily foraging for food. A streaked weaver is preoccupied with grooming itself. Next week, a peafowl is seen foraging peacefully in the wetlands. A painted snipe also visits the wetlands. While they primarily breed in China, these birds are present year-round across Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and China. A few days later, the black-rumped flameback is spotted pecking at a wooden tree. The blue-tailed bee-eater has made a catch and is relishing its meal. A flock of chestnut-tailed starlings arrives, with one seen perched quietly on a branch. Another bird nearby in its striking white morph is the Indian paradise flycatcher.
The season has shifted. Spring is now in full bloom. It is February 2nd week. A huge flock of black-tailed godwits have arrived in the wetlands of Lake Carambolim. They breed in Russia, Europe, parts of China, and migrate in winters to India, Africa, Australia, and Southeast Asia. The sight is breathtaking, as if countless stars have touched down in Goa. First seen in November, the ruddy shelducks remain at Lake Karmali, still relishing the calm surroundings and abundant food. Despite the dim light today, a spoonbill is spotted in the wetlands. These birds are present year-round in central and northern India, as well as parts of Africa. It's a lovely day for the arrival of a common snipe. Amidst a gathering of common sandpipers, it's seen preening quietly. The coppersmith barbet delivers its familiar yet unmistakable call. A cinnamon-morphed Indian paradise flycatcher is on the ground, scanning for insects. Though present year-round across India, some of these birds do migrate. A black-rumped flameback is seen gliding backward along the tree trunk, searching for a more suitable spot to peck. The orange-headed thrush makes a sudden appearance, foraging for food. Though seen year-round, it migrates to the Himalayan regions of India and Nepal during the breeding season. A white-throated kingfisher perches on a branch, clutching its catch after a swift dive into the lake. The waters here offer an abundant supply of fish, attracting raptors, waders, and kingfishers alike. A white-morphed Indian paradise flycatcher rests peacefully on a tree adorned with tiny wild berries. Along the path, a white-breasted waterhen emerges into the open, foraging for food. Though commonly seen year-round across India, China, Japan, and Southeast Asia, it migrates to southern China during the breeding season. By the third week of February, a black-shouldered kite is seen perched on a nearby electrical wire. An Asian woolly-necked stork has arrived at the wetlands today. This species is a year-round resident across India, Myanmar, Vietnam, Malaysia, and the Philippines. A purple heron lifts off gracefully from the trees, its wings slicing through the air. The brown-breasted flycatcher is a year-round resident in India and Sri Lanka, but migrates to Myanmar, northern Thailand, and southern China during the breeding season. It's the first week of March, and a Malabar grey hornbill is seen feasting on berries from a tree near the entrance to the lake. In the swampy spot, 2 gargany ducks are spotted alongside a pheasant-tailed jacana. These ducks breed in Russia, northern Japan, northern China, and Europe, migrating in winter to India, Myanmar, Southeast Asia, and southern China. A glossy ibis is seen foraging in the grass near the swampy spot, its curved bill probing gently for prey. Today at the wetlands, a painted stork stands tall among a gathering of black-headed ibises and a sizable flock of black-tailed godwits. A few gray-headed swamp hens are also seen moving quietly through the reeds. The following day, a black-headed cuckoo shrike takes flight, vanishing into the canopy. The white-cheeked barbet keeps tapping away at the tree stem, its beak rhythmically working the wood. Close by, a black-rumped flameback joins in, pecking at the wood with focused energy. Both birds seem fully absorbed in their tasks today. The western marsh harrier has secured its prey and is feeding, an elusive moment we're fortunate to witness. In the final week of March, a pair of woolly-necked storks arrive at the wetland, their stately presence adding to the seasonal rhythm. The blue-tailed bee-eater probes the muddy ground, intently searching for insects. Nearby, its companion has just caught a fly and is preparing to eat it, poised with quiet focus. The oriental darter, perched on a branch after its dive into the lake, spreads its wings wide to dry in the open air. The Tickle's blue flycatcher, ever inquisitive, fixes its gaze on the birdwatcher with quiet curiosity. A greater cuckoo is spotted resting quietly among the trees, its deep plumage blending into the shadows. An Indian golden oriole is perched quietly on a branch, its vivid plumage catching the light. A juvenile golden-fronted leafbird takes off in a quick flutter, vanishing into the foliage with urgency. The little cormorant is perched quietly on a tree by the lake, resting after its morning forage.
With April underway, the migration season draws to a close. Summer settles over Lake Karmali, warming its waters and stirring life along the banks. In the second week of April, a white-bellied sea eagle has caught a fish from the lake and now perches on a distant tower, roughly a kilometer away, preparing to feed. Nearby, two house crows linger, watching for a chance to steal the catch. The house crows miss their chance, and the white-bellied sea eagle enjoys its meal undisturbed atop the distant tower. By the lake's edge, a puff-throated babbler calls out, its voice rising from the undergrowth with gentle insistence. The cinnamon morph of the Indian paradise flycatcher, first spotted in March, continues to linger into April. At the swampy spot, the bronze-winged jacana is seen grooming itself, its iridescent feathers catching the light as it preens. In the third week of April, a spotted owlet is observed nesting in a coconut tree in the nearby neighborhood, not far from the lake. The rose-ringed parakeet is present today, its vibrant green plumage flashing to the trees near the lake. A glossy ibis moves slowly through the shallows along the lake shore, its slender bill probing the water in search of food. In mid-April, a rosy starling perches quietly among the tree branches as the rising heat begins to envelop the lake and its surroundings. In the final week of April, a spotted dove rests quietly on a branch. The wetlands remain a favorite haunt for black-tailed godwits. As the final month of migration unfolds, they continue to visit, gathering strength before their long journey. After their dive into the lake, the oriental darters perch with wings outstretched, drying themselves in the warm air. The Tickle's blue flycatcher is a year-round resident in India. On this windy day, the purple heron stands close to the water's edge, its slender frame vulnerable near the lurking crocodiles of the lake. Jungle mynas are frequent visitors around the lake, their chatter a familiar part of the wetland soundscape. This year, a pair of pheasant-tailed jacanas have been actively feeding at the swampy edge of the lake, their long toes deftly navigating the floating vegetation. Pheasant-tailed jacanas are year-round residents across Asia. For breeding, they migrate northward to northern India, northern Pakistan, and China. At the start of May, as the heat intensifies around Lake Karmali, a shikra perches silently on a tree. Though small, this raptor is a stealthy hunter, blending into the stillness.
With the arrival of the monsoon, Lake Karmali takes on a new rhythm. The migratory birds that filled the skies in March and April have departed, leaving behind the year-round residents to greet the rains. In August, about a kilometer from lake, a baya weaver is spotted at the tip of a coconut tree, likely surveying the area for nesting. The couple seems busy building nest for their babies. In the wetlands, a medium egret wades through the shallow water, its sharp eyes scanning for prey beneath the surface. At the lake, a white-breasted waterhen briefly steps out from the dense vegetation, only to retreat swiftly back into cover. A white-throated kingfisher perches on a bamboo stalk rooted in the lakeshore waters, its vivid plumage standing out against the lake waters. A gray-headed swamp hen is foraging through the shoreline weeds, its vivid plumage contrasting with the tangled green. Close to the swamp hen, a bronze-winged jacana feeds steadily, its long toes gliding over the floating vegetation with practiced ease. A closer look highlights the striking white stripes on its head and the vivid detail of its beak. About a kilometer from Lake Carambolim, a painted stork has appeared in the wetlands, its tall frame and vivid plumage adding a splash of color to the monsoon landscape. The painted stork raises its head, scanning the surroundings for signs of danger. Perched in the trees near the painted stork, a lesser adjutant is grooming itself, its large frame shifting gently as it tidies its feathers. Another lesser adjutant has been spotted in the same wetland, adding to the quiet presence of these solitary birds. The presence of a mating pair alongside the solitary lesser adjutant makes this sighting all the more remarkable. 3 of these elusive birds in one wetland is a rare treat. The following day, a swallow was seen preening itself in the same wetland where the lesser adjutants had gathered. The jungle myna is actively foraging, scanning the ground for insects. A stork-billed kingfisher is perched on a wire, its large bill and vivid plumage unmistakable against the open sky. Now seen in a different angle. Perched among the small trees, the peafowl scans its surroundings cautiously, alert to any signs of danger. The bio-weavers are actively engaged in nest building, weaving strands with precision and purpose. A few kilometers beyond Lake Carambolim, a Brahmini kite is perched on a tree branch overlooking the wetlands. The oriental darter is preening its feathers with care, while nearby, an ashiprinia calls out sharply, adding sound to the wetland stillness. Another oriental darter is nearby, adding to the quiet activity in the wetland. The white-throated kingfisher strikes a photogenic pose, its vivid plumage and bold bill perfectly framed for the lens. A spotted dove has appeared nearby, subtly enriching the wetland's avian variety. The pond heron appears animated, having discovered something of interest in the shallows. In September, a scaly-breasted munia is seen perched on a wire near the lake, its patterned plumage catching the soft morning light. While other birds fill the air with song, the ashy drongo remains vigilant, scanning its surroundings with quiet intensity. The following day, a purple heron was seen wading through the lake's wetlands. 5 blue-tailed bee-eaters are on a bamboo shoot anchored in the lake, their vivid plumage catching the light. A red-whiskered bulbul is perched among the trees. On one of the lake's mounds, a purple heron stands tall. On the same mound, a greater egret is high atop the trees, its white plumage gleaming against the blue sky. A little cormorant is also present nearby. An ashiprinia is perched on a branch, its slender frame alert. The tailor bird sings, pausing between notes to scan its surroundings with alert eyes. The Malabar starling is actively foraging, its pale plumage standing out against the foliage. The blue-tailed bee-eater takes flight, its slender form slicing through the air with effortless grace. Another blue-tailed bee-eater has joined the perch on the same wire, its vibrant plumage adding to the scene. A gray heron stands deep within the lakeside grass, partially concealed as it surveys the shallows. Another gray heron has unfurled its wings, revealing the full span of its slate-colored plumage. A few days into the 3rd week of September, a purple heron is spotted at a distance in the wetlands. Back at the lake, a pied kingfisher is perched on a branch, its black and white plumage stark against the brown and green shore. Another pied kingfisher is perched on a bamboo stalk, framed against a sky heavy with clouds that hint at coming rain. The Malabar starling is busy feeding, its sharp bill darting with precision as it forages among the foliage. A cinnamon bittern emerges unexpectedly along the lake shore, a monsoon visitor, its russet plumage blending seamlessly with the reeds. A lesser adjutant has arrived at the lake's wetlands, its towering frame and bare neck unmistakable among the greens.
October has arrived at Lake Karmali, and with it, the sprint of migration begins. Soon, the bird will return. It's the 1st week of October, and a lone lesser adjutant stands quietly in the wetlands. At the mount, a purple heron unfurls its wings. In the quiet of the trees, a rufous woodpecker appears, tucked into the hollow of an old trunk. It busily pecks at the hollow, carving deeper into the tree trunk with rhythmic taps. In the second week of October, a kilometer from the lake, a tricolor munia is spotted nestled in the wetland bushes. In the same wetland, a gray-headed swamp hen is foraging intently, probing the shallows for food. A medium egret stands nearby, focused and still, its gaze fixed on the water. It is last week of October. Back at the lake, a juvenile tickle's blue flycatcher perches quietly on a tree branch. The ashy prinia is preening diligently, its tiny beak working through each feather with care. A white throat-head kingfisher perches on a bamboo stalk by the lake, its bright plumage catching the light. Nearby, a black drongo perches on a tree branch, alert and poised. It's November now. The first migrant to arrive at the lake is the long-tailed shrike. While some species are residents in Asia, others are migration. Nearby, a blue-tailed bee-eater scanning its surroundings. An adult sunbird with intermediate plumage is perched on the wire. Its shifting colors hint at the onset of the breeding season. These birds are residents across India and Southeast Asia, and are also found along the coastal regions of Pakistan and Iran. In the third week of November, a rose-ringed parakeet in flight at the lakeside. A stork-billed kingfisher is perched on the wire, its large bill and vivid plumage unmistakable against the open sky. Nearby, the plain prinia lingers. The Siberian stonechat is the second migrant observed this season. It breeds in northern regions, Russia, Central Asia, and parts of Europe and Asia, and migrates south during winter to the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, Western Asia, and North Africa. Back at the lake, a rufous treepi is engrossed in its catch. Nearby, a black drongo perches silently, its glossy plumage catching the light. On the final day of November, the third wave of migrants arrives. A flock of glossy ibis settles into the lake's wetlands, joined by egrets. Nearby, a plain prinia flits about playfully. Black-winged stilts are today at the wetlands. While some populations are resident year-round in Africa and India, others migrate north to breed in Russia, Central Asia, China, and Europe. The fourth migratory bird observed this season is the brown shrike. It resides year-round in Southeast China, breeds in Russia, Mongolia, Korea, and Japan, and migrates to India and Southeast Asia during winter. Another plain prinia hops about energetically, adding to the bustle of a typically busy day. A painted stork has arrived at the wetlands, its presence adding to the growing diversity. The black-headed ibis, now the fifth migrant observed this season, is also present. A blue-tailed bee-eater is present at the wetlands, its slender form and vivid colors noticeable. The sixth migratory arrival this season is a flock of green-winged teals, now settled at the wetlands. These birds are seen year-round in parts of the U.S. and Europe, but for breeding, they migrate north. In winter, they travel south to the U.S., Mexico, India, South China, Africa, Japan, and Iran. The seventh migratory bird observed this season is the common sandpiper. Its presence at the wetlands adds to the growing diversity of winter visitors. The ruddy shelduck, eighth migrant of the season, has arrived at Lake Karmali's wetlands. It appears comfortable, moving with ease through its winter refuge. A lesser adjutant soars overhead, its broad wings slicing through the sky. The kingfisher is perched on a branch by the lake, its vivid plumage standing out against the muted greens of the trees.
The season has shifted. Winter has arrived. In the second week of January, a zitting cisticola is spotted at the wetlands. A stonechat has been spotted in the wetlands, its upright posture and flicking tail unmistakable among the reeds. Wire-tailed swallows are perched by the lake. More swallows join in, settling comfortably on the bamboo stalk. A blue-tailed bee-eater is perched in a nearby tree, clutching its catch tightly in its beak. The season has turned once again. Spring has arrived at Lake Carambolim, bringing warmth and renewal to the wetlands. It's the second week of February, and the ruddy shelducks remain at the wetlands, joined by the common sandpipers. At the lake, a black-rumped flameback is actively searching for a spot to peck, its sharp beak tapping along the bark. A white-browed bulbul has appeared among the trees. A greater racket-tailed drongo takes flight, its long tail streaming behind as it vanishes. Perched atop a broken tree, the blue-tailed bee-eater reveals its striking blue tail. A stork-billed kingfisher is perched on a wire. It leans forward, poised to dive into the lake in pursuit of a fish. It returns empty-beaked, then swiftly resumes its diving stance, ready for another attempt. Its large bill and vibrant plumage unmistakable. A black-headed ibis is perched atop a small tree, offering a remarkably clear view. The Indian golden oriole has appeared, its vivid yellow plumage gleaming among the foliage. A flock of scaly-breasted munias is feeding on the ground. A black-headed cuckooshrike is at the lake today. A gull-billed tern perches quietly on a bare tree rising from the center of Lake Karmali. A rufous woodpecker taps steadily at a tree branch by the lake. It continues its rhythmic tapping. In late February, the bronze-winged jacana is active among the shoreline plants. At the wetlands, a brown shrike is focused on consuming its freshly caught prey. Nearby, a plain prinia hops and flutters with spirited energy beside the feeding shrike. A white-throated kingfisher perches calmly on a nearby wire, concentrating. The following day at the lake, a pied kingfisher dives into the water and returns swiftly to its mate. The mate takes the next plunge. A stork-billed kingfisher rests on a wire, calmly. In the grass, a baya weaver and a scaly-breasted munia make a quiet appearance. A black-hooded oriole perches quietly among the trees, a year-round resident across India and Southeast Asia. A pair of Indian grey hornbills arrived today, settling into the fruit-laden tree by the lake's entrance. These birds are year-round residents across India. A female Asian koel joins the gathering, feeding quietly on the same fruit-laden tree. A blue-tailed bee-eater is perched atop the tree. The brown shrike spotted a few days ago still lingers at the wetlands. As March and April unfold, migratory birds begin their long journey homeward. In the second week of March, a gray-bellied cuckoo was spotted perched on a tree near the lake's entrance, its presence subtle yet striking. Perched at the summit of a tree on the mount, the oriental darter strikes a poised silhouette. At the lake's edge, a black-headed ibis probes the shallows while a medium egret watches silently nearby. Close by, an Indian pond heron lunges swiftly, poised for a catch. Near the lake, a purple heron holds its calm, even as danger slinks beneath the surface in the form of crocodiles. The oriental darter peers downward, its body tense with intent, ready to plunge into the lake for its prey. A red-whiskered bulbul flies away. Another purple heron stands motionless, seconds before the strike. The barbet, beak stuffed, holds its meal mid-perch. The male Asian koel is actively feeding, taking advantage of the berry-laden branches this time of year. An Indian paradise flycatcher, white morph, rests quietly on a tree branch, its long tail trailing below. A white-throated kingfisher rests on a bamboo stalk rising from the lake. A striated heron rests quietly atop the pipeline structure by the lakeside. During the third week of March, The purple sunbird rests atop dry vegetation by the marsh. The wood sandpiper pecks steadily along the wetland, absorbed in its search for food. Spotted redshanks, seldom seen, are actively feeding beside the wood sandpiper. A little ringed plover is quietly foraging close by. Black-winged stilts are regular visitors to the wetlands, often seen wading through the shallows. A Temminck stint has made an unexpected appearance today, another gem in the wetland mosaic. Seems there is a bunch of them. Beautiful. Migratory birds begin their northward journey to breeding grounds during March and April.